Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing LEGO sets and building them and other LEGO related stuff. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new LEGO Botanicals Lucky Bamboo set. This is set number 10344. It has 325 pieces and I paid $30 for this. This is one of the four gentlemen. They were the chrysanthemum, the cherry blossom, the orchid, and the bamboo. So it's like a series. Two of them came out in 2024, and then two more came out in 2025. This is one of them, and then there'll be one more, and I'll have covered them all on my channel eventually. These were these were ones that I was highly looking forward to, and I'm excited to see them again. And I'm looking forward to building this. This one looks relatively simple compared to some other ones, but I'm a big fan of LEGO Botanicals, so I'm sure I will like this as well, but we'll see when I get to the end. But either way, in this video I'm going to open this up, I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. So while I build, I will speed the video up and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy. Okay, so while we look at the build for this LEGO Botanicals Lucky Bamboo set, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and then remind you, if you like the video, click the thumbs up, and if you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. That helps me a lot. Subscribing to the channel is free, and it makes a big difference, and so I really appreciate it, and I do notice, and I do care, so that's that. And then if you wanted to support the channel in a different way, you can give money to the channel on YouTube, Patreon, buy me a coffee, and then I wanted to talk about the build. So the base, the kind of brown base with the feet, is the same for all of these four gentlemen, but I was really impressed with the kind of vase or the planter that this goes in. There was some hidden details in there. It's a different shape. It's a bit wider or longer, than the other ones, and there's some new pieces in there, some nice techniques in there. I'm pretty sure there's a new piece. And then we work on the bamboo stalks themselves. So we have three. Those are largely the same. We also then build three of these kind of leaf assemblies, and so I just kind of did these all at once because they were repetitive, but I really like how this looks. And add the stones. Now on to my review for this set. Okay, so here we have the new LEGO Botanicals, one of the four gentlemen, called the Lucky Bamboo. This is interesting, actually maybe a little more interesting than I thought it was going to be, because I did have some thoughts about this just based on looking at it that I think were proven, my assumptions were incorrect, I believe. And that's for a couple of reasons. I sort of was under the impression that maybe some of these like vases, some of the actual things that these four gentlemen will go in, were going to be reused to a certain extent. So let me grab all these here that I have. They might not be 100% complete right now, but let me see here. So looking at the bamboo one, which is what we're doing in this video, there are some notable differences. So it is narrower, it is like wider in a lot of ways. I guess I wrongly assumed that they were going to be reusing a couple of these designs, so I'm actually glad to see that they haven't. But here's kind of what they look like next to each other. I can kind of tilt these down a little bit. The bamboo one, it's a little bit harder to do that, which I'll explain why a little bit later. But here you can kind of see what they look like. Similar size, similar kind of thing for the base, but not identical, which is great. And I'm assuming the other one, the orchid or mini orchid or whatever, is also in a different kind of vase or vase or planter or whatever else. So that's kind of getting that right out in the open. And there's a good amount of stuff to look at here, so we will just jump right into it. And the first thing we will talk about is the base for this. So I'm going to remove some stuff to make this a little bit easier for the video, and that includes all of these little pebble type pieces here. I'm actually going to remove this as well, just so we can kind of look at what we all have here, because I thought this was really, really interesting. The kind of brown base, or like the little kind of, I don't know, stool or whatever stand that the vase is sitting on is consistent. So this is largely the same, using those nice kind of like architectural sort of things as like feet there. Really nice piece usage. I'm glad that that's consistent. And then we build the kind of the actual like planter vase thing here. And this was really interesting to me because it is a different shape. It is, you know, wider, longer this way, and it's also flatter, but there's some really nice building in here actually. If you look at the bottom, you can see we have some of those like studs on the side, plates going around to go out from a 4x4 to, you know, a 6x6 kind of area there, and then have studs on the side. And then we build these sections that are underneath here, which have studs on the side, bricks in them. I thought it was interesting that they used some clear plate in there, and I think that makes sense, and I think I know why. You can kind of see that there's some other clear plate on this as well. Does have the nice gold stripe here. I think that was done really, really well. I liked how it was done for the other ones, and this one had an extra kind of ask because of these corners here. So that's done in a really cool way. I'll actually pop this off so we can see that. And in sort of between these like studs on the side panel pieces, we use a stud on the side brick with the kind of rooftop kind of pointed piece that slots right in there, and then we can get that at the right angle, and I think that fills it in really, really nicely. We do see a little bit of that tan through there, but I actually think that kind of works. It almost looks like, I don't know, it almost fakes the gold a little bit just because of the extra like depth and everything. So I actually don't mind that at all. And I think that's a really nice building technique, really nice choice to kind of further round off these corners where otherwise they might not have had the gold to wrap around as nice. So I really, really like that. And then, you know, so there's a little bit of upside down building, you know, all this stuff, not very complicated. We do basically the same thing up top with these little sections. Interestingly enough, I believe this is a new piece in here. So this kind of archway piece with the one stud, previously those were, I believe, always two or like a full brick. Let me see if I have one of these somewhere. I think the new element of this is the fact that there's just room for one plate underneath here instead of maybe two, which is traditionally what I'm used to. So I think that's a new piece, a new shape there, a new piece for that one. So for just one plate, that plate section of that arch, and then another one, we get to like a full brick size there, and that's kind of unique to me. So that's new. And then also in here we have some interesting stuff, because this is where the plant is actually going to go, and we made use of some of these eye pieces, or these ball pieces there in the corners, just in the gray. We also have what is a really, really nice printed tile that's kind of a hidden detail that you might not see or notice when it's all put together. So that's kind of neat there. I'm not exactly sure what it's intended to be or what it means or anything like that, but I liked that it was there. I was surprised to see it in the bag when I was opening the pieces, so that was pretty cool. And overall, I think the base is really elegant, nicely designed. It's distinct from the other ones. It's not as tall, or, you know, it's much shorter. It's also like bigger, you know, in a couple other dimensions, which I really like. And then there's something there's another thing here that is these pieces, which you don't build until the end. And this reminds me of the birds of paradise and the initial orchid and the bonsai tree and some of the other stuff, where we kind of build these little pebbles or something to populate the area around the base to kind of make it look like there's a, I don't know if the right term is like substrate or like planting material or whatever. And it could be, underneath these decorative stones, so to speak, there's there's soil or some other kind of stuff underneath. But these are really, really nice, just two pieces, super simple, and they look great. And then those kind of match up with these rounded kind of ball pieces, those eye pieces in the corner, so that when we add the bamboo and we add these kind of around the edge, it looks like this is like filled up with stones, sort of. So that's kind of part of the base, and they're just loosely in there. They're not studded down or anything or clipped in, so they can move around, especially if I'm like manipulating this and trying to show this in all different angles and everything like that. And I lost my train of thought, but I had to step away for a minute while recording, and now I'm coming back. So all that is to say, I'm pretty happy with this base for the bamboo and everything that kind of it entails. It was very satisfying, and I think it looks great. And then, the rest of the build is the plant itself, the bamboo, and I'll talk about this in the sections that it is built in. They are largely the same, pretty, there's some repetition in here, but the first thing is we'll look at this. So this is what holds the plants together. As you can see in the base here, we do have that nice tile, and then there's 4 studs open there. So those connect to the kind of back of that, and we can get that in there. And then in these Technic axle bricks, we can put all the stalks of bamboo, and then kind of around the base of that, we can populate it with these stones. And I actually think that looks really, really good. There's some movement in there. There is some diversity in the size and shape of these, and depending on what side, either the inverted tile or just the regular tile, is facing what way, they can lean in different ways. They can have like a rounded surface or more of a flat surface, and then the rounded kind of corner pieces there, and it does fill in pretty nicely. I don't know if I would rather have a couple more like 1x1 studs thrown in there to fill it out a little more. I think this does an okay job, but there are times where I'm almost like, I wish there was maybe more of these, or like a little something extra, even though there's not like a ton of extra space. There's just a little bit that maybe I could have used something, or maybe could have warranted, either like another one of these kind of 2-piece assemblies, or some other kind of thing to fill in there. But that's kind of how that looks. And then we build the bamboo kind of stems or stalks, and you build those one at a time. You start with this one here, and this is the tallest one. I'll pop this off because I'm kind of going to go through this in the ways that you build it. So up at the top, we have a really nice print there for kind of the bamboo, and you start with one of those like half cylinder pieces, the Technic axle brick, and a round piece, and then just the round 2x2 bricks. You thread those on a Technic axle, and then you have a kind of repetitive step where we use these really nice tan kind of wheels. I think these are like bike wheels or like wagon wheels or something, that occasionally have rubber on the outside, or these are dual molded, and typically it's clear and then like black rubber on the outside, because they almost do feel rubberized. And so I wouldn't be surprised if these were dual molded, just to kind of get that tan color consistent through there. So we put that on, you get a bunch of those, which is nice to see that. Then just 2 of those round bricks with a tile, and then same thing repeated a couple times. And then for the bottom, we do add on two of the 2x2 rounded plates there, just leaving a little bit of Technic axle sticking out, and we can, place that into the base there. And then depending on what kind of orientation you want these things, we have a kind of extra shoot coming off of here with some leaves, and this is its own kind of build. You build 3 of these, you build them at the end. They are done pretty much all the same or exactly the same, which means the little assemblies that you'd have for the leaves there, you build 9 of those, so 3 for each kind of stalk. And so there is repetition there. I didn't mind it. Each of these like leaf assemblies is like 5 pieces or something like that. So these bigger kind of leaves in the dark brown or dark green or whatever that is, the like slope, the inverted slope, and the modified plate with the bar element to then get clipped on. And you also build 3 of these kind of stem things using Technic pieces, using bar elements, hollow studs, the eggshell piece. Some of these pieces that they've been using for botanical sets, but also were recently used in like the CMF minifigure telescope there, this sort of hollow stud with a 90-degree bar coming off of it, and then these clip pieces on there, and it looks really, really nice. These can be kind of pulled together a little bit so they're a little bit like tighter, or loosen them up, and then this gets slotted in the Technic axle hole at the top, and that's kind of what one of these assemblies might be. It's really easy to like rotate these and sort of change the how much they lean in there and how much we want them to kind of overlap or interact with each other, if we want that like really tight up there, or as tight as it can be in this configuration. But you have some options to kind of make that feel very natural. I think for the most part, this is a pretty good design for this. It's not like the most stable. It is just the one Technic axle all the way through, which isn't uncommon for botanicals. Sometimes they'll use a Technic axle for like the entire stem of a relatively heavy flower. I feel like when it's in here, it looks okay. Sometimes it looks like there's definitely some wiggle. I feel like at rest, sometimes it has a little bit of like a lilt to it, or a little bit of a bend or a lean, but that's okay as well. That might add to how natural it looks. And overall, I think this looks pretty good. Then we build, 2 others of these that are largely the same. So the top section up here is identical. We still have the print. The kind of leaf section that comes off is identical. We have the same kind of sections here, and the only difference on this one is there's not as many sections, and there's still that little bit of axle there. This one's on a different color axle, but this one's a little bit shorter. And then we have one more, which again, the top section is the same with the axle, Technic axle brick and the round brick, and everything there. We have a section, and then this one is smaller than the other ones, and we have that little bit of axle there, but like everything up at the top is identical. And when we slot those in, essentially what we get is this kind of nice looking array of bamboo shoots, kind of 3 major ones. And I'm just reorienting these to kind of see how I would want this displayed. And I actually think I might want it a little bit differently there. So I don't know if there's really probably not supposed to be like a front and a back to any of this, but there are maybe ways that people prefer to have it. And I don't love the look of where that one axle brick is that holds the kind of stem. So I might imagine this being the front, because I have those kind of on the back side. But, these are designed in such a way that they can look good from like all angles here. And I think, the top down looks really, really nice. I think it reads as bamboo, and, proportion wise, it feels okay. It feels okay with like what we have for the base, knowing that like what must be down there. And then, these feel nice. You can see these are a little like kind of angling out a little bit, but overall very natural look, very basic build, you know, repetitive to build these sections, repetitive to build these sections. I've sort of come to expect that with botanicals. It doesn't bother me that much. It makes sense. This one was maybe the one that had the least interesting building techniques to me. And for me, maybe this is true for all of these, although I'd really liked the chrysanthemum, but for some of the part usages and stuff like that. But like, you know, some of the more interesting things for me is building these vases or these planters or these containers that the actual flowers or plants are going to be like displayed in or grown in. And so in that way, like having that corner piece kind of finish off the round kind of corners of the gold trim there, I really enjoyed that, and I liked seeing the new piece in there. So like that was exciting to me. And then, you know, putting these all together as terms of a build experience was just fine, not bad, not great, but good. But the end result is really, really nice, really high quality, looks like bamboo, reads as bamboo, and you know, it sits really, really nicely. It sits nicely next to the other ones, the cherry blossom and the chrysanthemum, and I'm assuming the mini orchid. And I'm just excited to have more of these. So this was really nice, and yeah, I like this a lot. I like botanicals. I like this one. I'll show the extra pieces because you do get some, you do get an extra of that kind of wheel piece there, extra of the gold, the kind of drum lacquered gold, that kind of pointed rooftop piece, your 1x1s, your studs, your tiles, different things like that. So all your tiny pieces there, good to get those. And this set is 325 pieces. It retails for $30. So I'm very happy that the botanical collection is sort of continuing, succeeding by and large, and also coming in at different price points. Because, you know, while I love like the bouquets, it's $60, you know, but then you might need your own vase or to make a Lego vase or something like that. These ones, these four gentlemen, like lower barrier of entry, not as intricate, not as diverse in their individual builds, but like still really, really elegant, look super nice, classy, well designed, well built. And this is like a great representation of bamboo. And I think $30 feels like an okay price. I actually know that I have seen the chrysanthemum and the mini like cherry blossom on sale. I've seen many other botanical sets go on sale for 20% off, you know, throughout the line's kind of entire life so far. And so I wouldn't really be surprised if I see this discounted to $24 or something like that, which is, you know, 20% off. I bought this for $30. I bought the chrysanthemum and the cherry blossom for $30, and I bought the mini orchid for $30 because I wanted these. I wanted stuff like this. I hope LEGO continues to make, even if they're not like the same form factor of this kind of base or this kind of planter, I hope they continue to make LEGO planters and things for that, because I think it makes it much easier, better to display right out of the box, feels more like a complete product right out of the box, whereas like some of the bouquets feel a little bit incomplete once they're put together. So I really like how all encompassing this is, and I think these look great. I think this is an awesome scale. I think it's a great idea. I think they've been executed really, really well. And I know that this was like a series of the Four Gentlemen or something, but if they kept making them and could keep innovating with the kind of planter design and coming up with new plants that lend themselves to this sort of scale and form factor, I am likely going to be here for it, you know, for as long as they're going to do that, because these are really impressive to me. I think they look great. They're not like, you know, there's not a ton of features and functions and this and that. Occasionally they'll surprise me with a building technique, but the end result is just so good. I'm really, really pleased with how this looks. And this is one where I was maybe the most suspect of, because, you know, I saw the official images and I'm like, that's really all that it is. It's like, oh boy, that looks boring and simple. And, you know, it's not simple. I mean, it is simple in many ways, but it still looks kind of terrific in my opinion. So I can forgive any of the simplicity there as just being, you know, a sort of necessity of the type of plant life that this is, you know, emulating, or that this is depicting here. And bamboo has that kind of, it's big straight stalks of bamboo, and this, you know, captures that really well. So I'm fine with the price. I hope they continue stuff at this price. I wouldn't mind, you know, botanical sets or other botanical sets to come in even under this. I know that they have done, well, now they've done like a poly bag, like field flowers or something that I'll cover soon. They are continuing to look at botanical stuff, and I hope they keep coming in at various price points and various sizes and scales and with different kinds of builds, because I really enjoy them. I think they've been really successful for the Lego company or the Lego group, and they're like something that people who maybe aren't into Lego seem to really, really like, and I'm all for that. So I think this is great. I think the value makes sense. Price per piece is okay, and like what I have here at the end of it feels about right for the amount I paid. I would say it'd be better if it was 25, but getting this on sale for 20% off doesn't seem impossible, and that would be like a pretty good deal in my opinion. So I really like this. I had a blast putting it together, had a blast talking about it, and another fine addition to the Four Gentlemen. I'm excited to look at the next one, which is the mini orchid, I believe, and then I can kind of compare or have all of them out in front of me so we can look at them all together. I'm looking forward to that, and if you're interested in that, maybe subscribe, because that video will be coming out relatively soon. So I think that is it. I'll sort of turn this on its side again so we can see more of what we're looking at here, more of this bamboo, and yeah, that's it. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the LEGO videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more botanicals, the new bouquet, and the other Four Gentlemen, the mini orchid, and tons of other stuff, sets from all different themes, all different shapes, size, price point, piece count, tons of different stuff. So subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming LEGO videos. Subscriptions really, really help. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, and maybe we can get there, and then I'll do a giveaway or something, but subscribing to the channel is free and it means a lot to me, so thank you very much. And then if you wanted to support the channel in a different way, you could do that here on YouTube with membership, supers, and thanks. And I have a Patreon. It's in the video description. It's on my channel page. That's ways to give money to the channel, to financially support the channel. It's not needed, it's not necessary, but it is extremely helpful and it is greatly appreciated. So maybe consider checking those things out. Means a lot. Thank you very much. And with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.